All right, let's talk about the epic saga of Indian cricket. It's an amazing story, really. It's about how a team went from being total underdogs to, well, arguably the most powerful and influential force in the entire sport. So how on earth did they do it? Let's get into it.
But before we dive in, you gotta understand something crucial about Indian cricket. It is so much more than a game. No way. It's a cultural phenomenon, a national obsession. It's this one thing that unites over 1 billion people. And honestly, that emotion, that's the fuel for this entire incredible journey.
And this right here? This sums up the whole story perfectly. Look at the left. That's back in 1932. They were just starting out. You know, the new kids on the block. Happy to get a win here and there. Now look at the right. That's today. A global powerhouse. We're talking sustained, almost ruthless dominance. The change is just staggering. So again, how did they get from there to here?
Okay, so let's rewind. Our story starts way back in the early 20th century. In those early formative years, it wasn't about winning everything. Heck no. It was about survival. It was just about proving they belonged on the world stage, about earning a seat at the table.
So the first big step was their official Test debut in 1932. But man, they had to be patient. It took 20 long years to get that first ever Test win in 1952. The first real sign of strength, though, that came in the 60s and 70s with the legendary spin quartet. He had these 4 incredible spinners who basically turned their home grounds into fortresses. If you were playing in India, you were probably going to lose. They were just that good at home.
But here's the thing. Being unbeatable at home is great, but to really make a mark, you have to win everywhere. For that, India needed heroes. They needed legends. And that's exactly what happened next. A new era brought superstars who didn't just win games, they changed the entire team's psychology.
And the first of these giants was Sunil Gavaskar. Now, you have to picture this. Before Gavaskar, Indian batsmen were often intimidated by the super-fast bowlers from places like the West Indies and Australia. I mean, these guys were menacing. But Gavaskar, with his perfect technique and just pure courage, he taught India how to face the fire and not back down.
And the numbers, wow, the numbers really tell the story here. First person ever to score 10,000 runs in Test cricket? That's not just a record, that's smashing a mental barrier for an entire country. And that average against the West Indies, 65.45? That was against the scariest bowling attack in history. He wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. He completely redefined what was possible for an Indian batsman.
All right, so if Gavaskar taught India how to defend and stand firm, the next guy taught them how to attack. Enter Kapil Dev. This guy was like a force of nature. He was a genuine fast bowler in a land of spinners, and he was India's first true world-beating all-round.
So his impact was huge in 2 ways. First, the stats are just mind-boggling. He's the only player in history with over 5,000 runs and over 400 wickets. Think about that. But even bigger than that was his leadership. He was the captain who led a team of massive underdogs to a victory that, well, it changed everything. And I really can't stress this enough. That single win, that 1983 World Cup victory, it was the ultimate catalyst. Cricket went from being a popular sport to basically a religion overnight. Imagine a young nation beating the unbeatable West Indies on the biggest stage. It was massive. It lit a fire in millions of people and laid the groundwork for the powerhouse we see today.
So, that fire that was lit in '83, it burned bright, and it fueled the rise of what we now call the golden generation in the 90s and 2000s. This was a group of ridiculously talented, technically perfect players who made India a threat everywhere they went.
And right at the center of that generation was one man, Sachin Tendulkar. For over 2 decades, he was more than just a player. He was the hope of 1 billion people. Seriously, when Sachin batted, the entire country just stopped. Everything else could wait.
And just look at that number, 100. 100 international centuries. It's a record that's so far out there, so beyond what anyone thought was humanly possible, that it's pretty safe to say it will never, ever be broken. That's his legacy in a single number.
Okay, so if Sachin was the brilliant artist, Rahul Dravid was the master architect. They called him the Wall for a reason. He was the unbreakable foundation that so many Indian wins were built on, especially when things got tough on the road. What made him so great wasn't just that he scored runs, but how. Scoring a century in every single test-playing country, that shows you his incredible skill and adaptability. He would just bat and bat and bat, grinding down the best bowlers in the world.
And the fact that he'd even keep wicket just to help the team, that tells you everything you need to know. The ultimate team man.
And the third pillar of this incredible era was a bowler, Anil Kumble. Now, he wasn't your typical Indian spinner. He didn't turn the ball a mile. His genius was in his relentless accuracy, his clever variations, and this unbelievable fighting spirit. He wasn't just a bowler, he was a warrior. And this was his Mona Lisa. Taking all 10 wickets in a single innings, it's one of the rarest things in cricket. It's only happened 3 times in the entire history of the sport. And for him to do it against their biggest rivals, Pakistan, it just cemented his legend forever.
So, with that legendary foundation firmly in place, the next generation took the baton. And they had one simple goal: total world domination. This modern era isn't just about competing, it's about winning, every single time.
Yeah, this table pretty much sums it up. They've won it all. The big 50-over World Cups, the very first T20 World Cup. But look closer. It's the consistency that's key. Getting to 2 World Test Championship finals in a row, that shows this isn't just a flash in the pan. This is a team that expects to win every major trophy in every single format. And this era of dominance was really forged by 2 very different leaders. First, you had MS Dhoni, Captain Cool, the guy with ice in his veins, a tactical genius who calmly led India to every single major white ball trophy. Then came Virat Kohli, all fire and passion. He transformed the team's fitness and gave them this aggressive, fearless mindset, especially when it came to winning test matches overseas. Which brings us to right now. Today, India isn't just one of the best teams. They are a global cricketing superpower. So, what's the secret sauce? What makes them so dominant? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a whole ecosystem of success. You've got the on-field results. They're always ranked near the top, and they have this incredible depth of fast bowlers, which was unheard of before. That talent is constantly supplied by the IPL, which is like a high-pressure factory for producing world-class players. And holding it all together? The massive financial power that just fuels this whole cycle. It's a machine. So, from those humble beginnings all the way to the top of the mountain, it has been one heck of an epic journey. They've won everything, conquered every condition. Which leaves us with one final, really interesting question to think about. As the undisputed powerhouse of world cricket, what's next? What new frontier is there left for Team India to conquer?